We're back with a new episode of On the Run with RUNGRL. In this episode, we're discussing safety on the run. We're joined by RUNGRL's Avery and Iesha, who will share their own experiences with running safety as women who often run alone in the city. Let's hear what they have to say.
Yeah, so like when I think about safety while I'm running, I think about a lot of things, and it's mostly if I'm running by myself. There's so much more that goes into it versus running with a group, and I'm sure it's the same for you. Yeah. But like if I'm running with a group, I know I have like the protection of the group. Like I can be running through the middle of the city and there's like random dudes saying a whole bunch of random stuff, and it's like, okay, cool, y'all are only gonna go but so far. There's like 6 of us and there's 1 of you. So, and we can outrun you. So like, we'll probably be fine. But if I'm alone and that happens, it's a very different consideration of like, okay, who is this man? Where is he in relation to me? Like, where am I on the street? Like, what else is around me? Like, do I need to like duck into this Starbucks real quick and wait for this man to pass?
Since I've been marathon training, I try to map my route, but I always reach out to see who's running with me first. So if I have a guy running with me, I can like go through wherever I want.
Yeah.
Because you'll get limited catcalling because they don't know the nature of the relationship. Yep. It could be my brother and they have no idea, right? But I think that plays a role. What I choose to wear plays a role. Even understanding, obviously, compression is my thing because I'm obviously running for hours.
Yeah.
But taking that into consideration, what colors am I wearing? But one thing I have started to do, and it probably didn't root from anything positive, but speak to everyone. So if in fact I end up on the news, someone can say, hey, was that the girl that said good morning? Or if they are somewhere else, it throws people off if you say good morning, because then they find themselves saying good morning back to you versus wherever their mind was going before. So, and it may or may not be, it's not proven. Yeah. It's my own comfort to speak to people in the morning.
I think I was supposed to be running 12 miles and I was gonna hit Rock Creek Trail. And so I get down and I start my run, but I started later than I should have. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be 12 miles. It's gonna take at least a couple hours. And I'm like, oh, it's 4 o'clock now. That means I'm not gonna be done until close to 6. What time does the sun set? And so I'm like thinking through all of this. Do I even have enough time to finish the run? And like the run ended up going slower than I planned. And as I was coming back, like I noticed, I'm like, it's getting darker faster than I thought it was going to. And I'm surrounded by trees. I know like where I am on the trail and I know I need to hit 12 miles. But I was like, at this point, like I'm just gonna cut this run short. I'm gonna head back to my car because this 10 and a half is gonna have to work. But we'll figure out the rest of these miles later, so.
Do you ever share your location?
Yes, so I have one of my best friends, she has my location all the time and I usually tell her when I'm running, but I think, as women, we deal with a lot of safety issues, but then last summer we have Ahmaud Arbery, and like as a Black woman, like there are definitely other considerations that we have to take, keep in mind. And like what has your experience with that been like?
I probably have never been so grateful to live in Baltimore. And I say that because I'm surrounded around a lot of people that look like me. Yeah. So from that perspective, it's very different. But there are on the outskirts, obviously, areas that where people don't look like me. I have to tell my parents different stories sometimes. We've had conversations where I'm like, listen, this is not just about the physical part of me that you're worried about. I run for a mental space. So pick your poison. Do you want me to go crazy or do you just want me to just be safe, right? So you really want to touch on like why I'm running and then giving them a call, making them feel comfortable if that means sharing my location. 2 of my best friends do have my location. Unfortunately, one moved away, which kind of is a little pointless because she's not going to be able to come if something happens to me. But normally it's the 4 a.m. runs. It's the super early runs that they're really worried about because it is still very dark regardless of what season it is at 4 o'clock in the morning. So marathon training season and trying to do that. I think my parents and my family, they all know I'm gonna keep running because we've had this conversation. So then my dad gets his new level of crazy and then he buys me a taser, a bedazzled pink taser. And
of course it's bedazzled.
yes,
I
was like, where did you even get this? I didn't even ask for this, but what made you choose this? And then the pepper spray looks like perfume, right? So it's a little bit smaller. And so I was kind of like, I'm fine. Like, okay, but I get it because it is helpful. I have found myself playing with it if I get around people, like the taser, because it sparks. Yeah. So if someone sees me with a taser, they're definitely not gonna try anything. Like it's not worth it, bro. Yeah. So
like you gotta be a different kind of crazy if you're gonna run up on that.
Exactly.